bottom-up and top-down approaches, and the very necessary connection between environmental policies and daily life. So how environmental policies might be based on something which is affecting the daily life of people.
Know and what people perceive about environmental destruction very often is not only that their direct personal experience, but also that what they receive from the media. The word climate change, for example, we already discussed this morning. Let's say how people see this. Is this far away, or is this rather an effect which is directly important for daily lives at the local level? So it's important that media inform and also create an awareness of environmental destruction and what's happening on the planet.
So many of journalists, we provide or some of the idea already implementing. Actually, there are joint trade union and professional organizations as like Aliansi Jurnalis Independent. That's one of the biggest journalist organization in Indonesia. They are more independent and very somehow really pay attention to do advocacy if something or many cases happen to the journalists, and promotion of more independent critical media as well. And they make like a cooperation under WikiLeaks to covering or work together for kind of very sensitive issue on the environmental case. So why they work together? Because to protect themselves and also the possibility way to publish their investigation. So sometimes for the sensitive issue, many of NGOs or development aid projects who work in Indonesia, they give a fellowship to the journalists to do investigation or special report about case of mining or deforestation. This strategy can be more safe for the journalists, so they will not get a pressure from the owner of the media, but also still possible to publish this report.
The major reason of resource appropriation is the execution of large-scale developmental projects that leads to the resource appropriations, and the implication of such resource appropriations are like involuntary displacement of human populations, enormous environmental degradations, disposition of lands, loss of livelihood, then landlessness, joblessness, homelessness, food security, and loss of common resources. And at last, the most important is the marginalization of indigenous communities. So these are the causes and implications of resource appropriation across the globe, and in case of India too.
Speaking in more general terms, historically, Japan knows how to organize big protests, but lost its momentum along the way. Protests nowadays lack the demographics of younger people, which poses to be a problem. Those younger people, this younger generation, do not tend to be utterly apathetic. They rather take their protests and opinion elsewhere.
It exacerbates the existing local issues and it intensifies the existing stress in multiple forms. In India are actually unable to categorize the direct and indirect impacts of climate change because most of the print media journals have shortage of funds. They also do not have effective journalists to report the real climate change impacts. They do not have enough scientific